Hey, did you hear? Sorry, I'm just finishing this part in Persona 4 Golden on my Vita, but I have to tell you about a whole bunch of Persona news. I know it's been a little while since I told you about a whole bunch of stuff that's been going on, but we're back, ready to go, and I'm here to tell you all about Persona. Late last night, Atlus announced plans because this year is Persona's 25th anniversary. And starting in September, at one of their concerts, they're going to start unveiling 7 new Persona projects over the course of the next year. Now, what they are, we don't know yet. They've started putting up a bunch of different merchandise with some oddly placed secret question areas. So I think I have some ideas about what it is. So why don't we take a look at these tarot cards that I have here? And why don't you go ahead and pick one? And we'll see what the first one could be. Ah, yes, of course. This card. This can mean a couple different things. Now, with 7 new Persona projects, we don't have confirmation that they're all games. Persona 4 Golden got its own anime after Persona 4 did, Persona 5 got its own anime, and now after Persona 5 Royal, it might be time to revisit the anime and make Persona 5 Royal into its own anime. Now, I don't know how well received the Persona 5 anime was. Hopefully the 5 Royal anime will be something a little bit different, a little bit better put together. But that could be one of the things that we're going to see. Why don't you go ahead and pick another one and we'll see what we can find. Ah, yes, of course. Earlier this year, Atlus actually put out a survey asking the fans what are some of the things that they want most from their series, and a bunch of it was focused on Persona. Now, we got some questions regarding full remakes of different Persona titles. Some of the questions were based around a full remake of Persona 3, a full remake of Persona 2, a full remake of the original Revelations Persona. I do think there's a possibility that one or multiple of these projects can be remakes. I don't know if they're going to fully remake all of them, but my money would be on remaking 3. That was kind of the beginning of what Persona is now. 1 and 2 were much different games. I would love for 1 and 2 to come back if they added in all the mechanics that we've seen in 3, 4, and 5, like the social links and the different types of monsters that they added. I would love to see 1 and 2 come back, but I would be so hyped for 3. I would be so hyped to get a full, from the ground up, Blue Point style remake. Let's see what else might be in the cards. Of course. Persona games generally also get fighting games. Persona 4 Ultimax and Arena Ultimax were different fighting games that came out back on last generation. Now, Persona 5, we've had Persona 5 Strikers as a spin-off, but we haven't really had any other spin-offs outside of the dancing games. Now, a fighting game, I think, makes sense and could be in the cards. We haven't had a new fighting game in a while. The Persona 5 cast, especially if they bring in some characters from Persona 3 and 4 into that mix to make a cool fighting game. I'm not usually one for fighting games, but you slap anything on Persona, you slap Persona on anything, and I'm there. So I'm already excited about this potential. Why don't you go ahead and pick another card? Right. This card. Now this card can mean a couple different things. In that questionnaire that Atlus put out, in that survey, there was a couple new things. A new rhythm action game in the Persona series. Now, this one I'm not 100% sold on because we've already gotten a Persona 5 dancing, and we don't have a new numbered entry to base another dancing game on. We've already had dancing games for 3 and 4, so unless they go further back in the franchise and go towards 1 and 2 and try and remake some of those into a dancing action game, I could see that happening, but I don't think that's the most likely occasion. Why don't you go ahead and pick another card? One of my favorites. Also in that survey, there was a bunch of new style Persona games that they were asking about, some of which were a Persona series card game or an online RPG, a board game, even potentially a strategy game. Now, we've seen Persona kind of mingle with other areas before. We've seen stuff like Persona Q, which was a first-person dungeon crawler. We've seen stuff with the Fire Emblem crossover many moons ago. So we might be getting something brand new in the Persona universe. A card game would be awesome. Gwent took the world by storm just a few years ago. Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon are all very, very hot right now, so I wouldn't be surprised if we got either a physical game or if we got a new digital card game. Why don't we wrap up? Why don't we pick one more? Yes. there are chances that we could be getting a Persona 4 Golden remake as well. This would be one of my favorite things. The things that I'm hoping the most for would be Persona 1 and 2 remade with the current social links built in, a from the ground up 3 remake, or a from the ground up 4 remake. 4 Golden is still my favorite entry in the series. So if they took some of the quality of life improvements that they made with 5 and 5 Royal and brought that back into 4 Golden or even 3, and it better be P3P, I want my Femme MC, I want my female main character option, I'd be so stoked for any of those to come back. Now again, we don't know if all of these are going to be video games. I think an anime is a pretty good guess. There might be something else in there that we might not be expecting, but I really hope that at the end of this, because they announced that the last announcement that they're going to be rolling out will be fall of 2022. And somebody jumped at the page source, and if you look on the page source for that website, it actually says September 2022. My bet, Persona 6. I think somewhere in this, and it wouldn't be surprising for me if they held it till the end, to finally unveil Persona 6. Persona 5 came out, a few years ago now, and Royal came out after that. It's time to look to the future. It's time for Persona 6. I had a great conversation with my friend Mr. Midas about where we'd want this series to go, and I would love for them to get a little more international. Go to different places, let me explore the world a little bit more, and flesh the universe out. Persona has such a rich environment and so much cool stuff that they could do with it. I can't wait to see what Persona 6 is. I remember getting Persona 5 and thinking this could be my new favorite game ever. And while it didn't quite top Persona 4 Golden for me, I think Persona 6 is going to be exciting. There's a new director on board for the first time in this series in a while. We might be having new spin-offs that we don't know are coming, but this is my favorite announcement. This is so cool. I can't wait to see what games we're going to be getting in the Persona universe. 7 new projects. What do you think? What do you want to see from Persona? Do you want to see some of the old games brought back, fully upgraded, social links added? Or do you want to see them step into new spin-offs like Strikers? Or do you just want Persona 6? Where do you think we're going next with Persona? What do you think?